Welcome, everyone. Thank you for finding time on this Thursday evening in December. I think it is quite busy, even though not for maybe the same reasons and not for the same going out reasons, but there's still a lot of pressure on people's time and finishing things off before Christmas. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's go. Oh, no, too far. I'm Kerry Townsend. At the moment, well, I'm more freelancing than doing anything permanent, but at the moment I'm probably just taking a bit of time out, which will change in the new year, but I'm just enjoying the less time online. And Jimson, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so as you know, I changed my profile picture this time around. I guess people were tired of seeing the last 4 years of the same mugshot. So I'm Jimson Lee. I'm a Salesforce Marketing Cloud SME, a cloud analyst, and we do both Sales Cloud and Marketing Cloud projects. Cool.
And thank you, Jimson, for your festive or Christmas adornment there. We do encourage that throughout the evening. Any Christmas jumpers are, favorably looked on, because you can't really wear them very often, right? So you've got to have somewhere to do that. So in this session, we've gone through a bit of a welcome, just go through some highlights of things that might be happening, then look at some of our highlights for the years, the meetings that we've had and the topics that we've covered. And then there is a quiz. We'll see how that goes with the audience. I encourage you to guess, because there's going to be some prizes and someone's got to win, right? So, and you've got a 1 in 4 chance with the questions. So we'll be interested to see how that goes. My computer is doing all sorts of crazy things. So one of the first announcements, as hopefully most of you are aware, we had the Dreamforce keynote. Was it last week? It was last week.
Last week.
It might even have been like just over a week ago. And we also have Dream TX coming next week. So did anybody attend the keynote? Anybody caught up with the keynote? There we go. We've got a couple of people. Excellent. And then next week is around 4 days of content. And if you already signed up for it, you'll be able to go on Agenda Builder and look at the sessions that are available. And actually, quite nicely, there are quite a few sessions that are actually going to be in GMT. So some of the challenge with the events and the time zones is that a lot of things generally only happen in our evenings. But you should notice that there's actually programming in most mornings. So I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there's all content in the morning, which is pretty nice. So if you haven't already checked that out, then I recommend that you do. I did note that there was one particular session about like the Marketing Cloud roadmap and product, which I definitely will be going to. So that's worth looking out for. And then there are some certification days. Now, we mentioned this last time, but again, Salesforce does a relatively big push on being able to get people certified, and particularly the more entry-level certs. So your email marketing certification is one that's included in this. So if you haven't already got this, but you are interested, then following on with the content that's available for this is a great way to just kickstart you. And some of those are actually happening in the new year, right? So it might be, one of your New Year's resolutions. Also, I don't have this on a slide, but something to note is that there's a podcast which Dan Ellman has been putting together, which is the 4C podcast, and it's available on Spotify. And I think it's called Dear Marketing Automation. Is that right, Jimson?
Yep.
Right. So that's worth looking out for. That's something that I am newly aware of and have not had a chance to catch up with all the episodes yet, but that's something to look out for. So I think that's probably it from the announcements on my side. Jimson, was there anything else from you?
No, that was it. Just the last one with the podcast was actually featured both Kerry and myself. It was the Christmas wish list podcast, and you should watch and listen to the very end because a very special guest came on at the very end. I won't say who it is because that would ruin it. So I'll put the link on the chat window here shortly, but definitely it's a good listen. It's a chance for us to vent the highs and lows of Marketing Cloud wish list.
Yep. Cool. One more announcement from me. So I don't know if all of you are aware of London's Calling, but London's Calling is the community conference that I am involved with the organising, and it happens in London typically every year. This year we had to go online at the very last minute. We are running it again next year, and we are going to be fully online. So we're sticking to our normal March date, but we will be fully online this year. And again, all of us are hopeful that we'll go back to in-person meetings and events at some point soon and some point next year, but I don't think we'll be up to a 600-person event by March. Seems a bit bold. But we are going to be looking for that content. So if you are someone that is interested in either attending community conferences, or you're interested in speaking at community conferences, then there will be a call for speakers that goes out. So keep looking at the Twitter handle if you're interested, or forward it to anybody that you know who is also interested in speaking at events, and we'd love to see you there, or at least virtually. It'll be very much like this, where you know, there'll be people, and we can still interact, and we're looking at all the different ways that we can make it more you know, engaging in terms of a two-way conversation. So hopefully we'll see you there. Our next meetup is going to be on the 14th. Feels like a long way away to me, but Jimson will tell me that it's not, because he counts, he probably knows that in days, but I like to think it's a while away and that I have plenty of time for all the things. And then there's an admin meetup on the 21st. We do, as best possible, try and avoid clashing our meetings, but that doesn't always work out so well, because there's only so many occasions during the month that we can really run these. But those are the dates that I know about so far. Does anybody know of any other groups that have already announced their dates for January?
Just either speak up or just feel free to type it in the chat window. If there's any events that you think that should stand out, please let us know. I'm always interested in attending different events or webinars. Cool.
I'd like to think that everybody just thinks that feels like a long way away.
Yeah, it'll be here before you know it. That's all I know from these meetups.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Cool. So if we move on to a bit of a roundup about what happened with our group in 2020. So first of all, I think I've got some stats for you. So looking back at our meetups, so in total we had 10 meetups. So 2 of those were in person. So those were January and February. And then we didn't meet in March, but we came back online in April. And then we missed May, but then we've been having a meeting every month since then. So considering the disruption and not knowing what to do, and at least initially hoping that it was only going to be a short-term bit of disruption, I think we've done reasonably well there. Some stats from our Meetup tool. So these numbers all relate to the people that actually signed up. So they're not necessarily the people that attended each session, but in this instance, it shows that we had, over the total of the meetings that we had 689 signups. So that works out at effectively 69, an average of 69 per meeting. And then in terms of our unique people, right, that's 333. So that's, you can see there, it's not consistently the same people that sign up for every meeting. We have a range of people that come to some meetings and they dip in and out, which is an interesting, just for us to know and to keep an eye on. And then the community group on the Trailblazer community, we've got 377. So I can't tell you what it is from up last year, but it's definitely up. Now, is everybody on the call aware of the Trailblazer community group? Do you know what I mean by that? So that's the group on Success. It was success.salesforce.com. It's now Trailblazer.
Community, Trailblazer community.
Well, so it's if you go just to the URL, it's trailblazer.salesforce.com, where all the community groups and the collaboration is and the ideas exchange. So if you're not already part of that group, it would be great to have people join, because we do put announcements in there occasionally and look to try and announce these meetings, but that's a good place to go and ask questions or find out more information. Or other community group leaders also post about meetings or other things that you might be interested in. So things like that. So in total, we had, when I say 7 speakers, that's session speakers. And we also created a YouTube channel this year. So any of the sessions that we've recorded this year are available on that YouTube channel. So we've got 6 of those recordings currently. And actually we've got 79 people subscribing, which I feel is quite a few and higher than I expected. So obviously I'm assuming that everyone on this call is also subscribing to that particular channel.
Yeah, my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, so then we can monetize the channel and put ads on it and make some spare cash on the side.
Yeah, no, which is not truly our goal, because we don't make any money. But again, I think it's as much like showing that we, you know, the content or the meetings that we have, people find interesting. And we also get, you know, we've had some really good speakers, which we'll come on to. So if you're not aware of that YouTube channel, there's a bit.ly link there where you can find it, or if you go on, it's the channel name is FMMC London, and you'll be able to find those particular sessions. So if we think about the speakers, we had quite a few different speakers, and we also had demo time, which had a number of people presenting. So in this, I'd like to say a big thank you to these speakers. I'm not sure if we actually have any of them on the call this evening, but without, you know, the people that are willing to come and spend their time and prepare conversations, we wouldn't have content to share. So it's really important. And, you know, all of those things take some time. And we have had a mix of both Salesforce speakers and community speakers, which I think is really lovely, because it's good to get that Salesforce perspective, but equally, you know, we want to hear from our community members who, to be honest, can be a little bit more direct with how they feel that things work, and the things that they'd like to see and their improvements. And then we also had a number of different topics. So here are some of the topics that we talked about. So automated lead capture, we talked about connecting with Pardot, SMS and a subscription model with that. We had Simon come on and talk about Datarama. So to give the group a little bit of a feel, and I definitely learned some things about Datarama from that. We had a session about understanding CDP, and I think that's it's a growing area with Salesforce, moving into more of those data products. And also we had what we called was demo time, which was a not demo jam, which I think also many people found really interesting to get a flavor of that. And it was quite a dynamic session. So it's been really great to have all of these people come in, talk about the different features, and experiment with the format, which again is not typical. Because obviously we were meeting in person and now we're meeting virtually. So, I mean, it would be wonderful if anybody on the call could tell us a little bit more about whether there was any of those sessions that they attended and anything there that they particularly liked, or anything that they'd really like to see potentially next year. Like, was there something you'd like to see a little bit more of? We had some good feedback about demo time, so we're thinking of doing that again. So that will probably happen, but we just want to take a moment to check with attendees to see if there are other things that they're interested in. Is anybody brave enough to come off mute?
Yeah, feel free to speak up. If not, just type it in the chat window. I can start first if people are shy. So after the demo time, one of the suggestions was to have the same kind of demo, but for Chrome extensions, as opposed to AppExchange products. So there are a couple of Chrome extensions that are some free, some premium, so that we have like 3 or 2 in mind that we can demo. So that's kind of a fun session to have a meetup on, is Chrome extensions, demo time. Yeah. So that's my suggestion, maybe for February or January.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to give a suggestion what you want to see? I mean, there's 8 products in Marketing Cloud. Pick one if you want. I can't go wrong. 9 products. No.
A bit corny, but I thought demo time was a brilliant format. All 3 were brilliant, really riveting.
Yeah, I liked it because the other demo jam, they're only given 3 minutes, I believe, to do a demo, whereas we gave 10 minutes because we had so few people. But I think, if we ever get like 5 App Exchange products or even 5 Chrome extensions, I'm happy to do them all for like 7 minutes, 6 minutes. My talk was only less than 5.5 minutes when I did my talk on demo time. So you can keep it short and sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. Also, there's an article on our blog on the Chrome extension, the upcoming, that it just needs to be finished. So there's some really cool features for those who use Chrome, and keep an eye out on that soon.
Lovely.
Okay, so I guess no one else. Okay, just like I said, if you're just type it in the chat and let us know what you want to see. I had another one. I had like a speed dating one. Speed dating where we get say 4 or 5 consultants, and this is better in person, and you get to spend 5 minutes with a consultant and explain your problem, and then one of us can try to help you out with your problem. Speed dating. Not that I ever tried that or anything, but it's kind of neat where you get a one-to-one session with somebody for like 5 minutes and see if they can solve your problem. That's kind of another idea that was thrown out before.
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure if I actually have the features on this Zoom, but you can now do breakout rooms. And even if it's just the networking piece, right, that can be quite nice, right? Because, if it's more or less one-to-one, or, only 3 people, then that's much less intimidating to at least have a conversation, say your name, talk about what you do, ask some questions, or at least learn something a little bit more about someone else.
Yeah, I've experienced the breakout rooms on a Zoom with 3 or 4 on the networking style, and it actually does work really, really well. And yeah, maybe that's something if at some point there was a surplus of speakers or topics, you could run more than one simultaneously, and people could jump into the one that's of more relevance to them. I don't know if we would be in a position where we had a surplus of topics and speakers, but yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I'm wondering how many people on the call are fighting and crawling over each other to talk at one of our meetings in the future. I can feel it. I can feel that people just are just holding themselves back because they don't want to push in front of all the other people that are trying to get in there to talk. But yeah, as an ongoing thing, it's great to get feedback about what you want to see. The community group is a great place to put that as well. And you can contact us directly, although I think, Jimson, you're better at replying than I am. But we do get there eventually.
Okay, next topic. I think
Yep.
No one wants to suggest anything.
Yeah, cool. Let me. Whoop. So the next bit is we're just going to go over a little bit of the releases. So Jimson, I'll hand this over to you.
Yeah, this won't take too long. I think I want to sort of go over some of the highs and lows, or what I call the tidings of great joy to the bah humbug part of the releases. And I think just looking quickly in no particular order, I think interactive email was one of the highlights of 2020. And we had Mark Robbins, Rebel, which is now interactive email. He came on one of our meetups and explained. I think the multi-factor authentication and the 2-factor authentication has caused a lot of grief for a lot of our customers, a lot of users. I'll bet you everyone here on Marketing Cloud in this group probably clicks skip when you get that ugly screen. I know I do on the clients that I work with. So yeah, it's a necessary evil. They're doing it for many reasons, and yeah, just reach out if you have any questions on setting up MFA. If you're just setting up on Salesforce Administrator, it's fairly straightforward. But if you have an existing Google or Microsoft implementation, then the layers of IT management sort of gets in the way, and you need permission. But otherwise, it does work. It is safer. Personally, do I need it? I don't think so. But this is Salesforce, right? And the other thing is C360 Audiences came out on October 20th. It's pretty exciting. It's actually a very powerful CDP, customer data platform, and I think it's really promising. It is expensive. I do have a client right now on this, and it is very expensive, and you have to really weigh the cost. Like, what's the cost of a unified profile to you? If you have a subscriber with 3 email addresses, your home, your work, and your Hotmail, then you have to ask yourself, is it really worth getting this to unify a profile? And you will be charged for profiles just like you are charged for contacts. So that's another thing to look at. And the other thing, I think, go back one slide. Sorry, Carrie, I think you
Oh yeah,
one slide
sorry.
over. Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
there. No, it's all gone. It's all gone a bit
quickly,
crazy there. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So the last bah humbug I want to complain about is the Chrome blocking mixed content, and the easy solution is to use SSL. However, in the last release, they promised self-service SSL, which was due November 20th. However, that's been delayed until late December. So the problem is that a lot of people delayed on buying SSL through the proper channels, which is a pain in the ass. And they're sort of delaying, thinking that by November 20th, they can just log in their org, wishful thinking, log in the org, top right-hand corner, and purchase SSL, self-service. But now they can't. So now they're scrambling right now, and they know it's a 4 to 6 week, implementation to get that done. So I'm still waiting on one client. I have one client that's still waiting, and I hope Google will delay it by a few weeks. I hope they don't shut it off in January. But look, it's just the way it is, right? And the last thing I want to talk about is the synchronized data extensions on those using the connector. They now limited it to 250 fields, which I think is shocking, because I've worked with 2 different clients where we've had data extensions like 300 plus fields wide on a org. So we're currently negotiating with Salesforce on that, saying, look, we're already here, we're long-term customers. Can you please, not, ding us on 250 for a data extension, synchronized data extension. So that's it, really, to highlight in 3 minutes my year of the releases. Carrie, if you want to share some of your feedback on the releases this year. There were 5, so you have a lot of chance to pick one.
So I've not gone into specific functionality. I've more spoke about like general principles. So I am increasingly pleased to see that they're migrating more of the options that you can pick into the setup. So that's moving the reliance on having to contact support, or even try and work out that those features are even available. So I'm really pleased to see that. I'm liking the fact that we're seeing the standardizing on workflow. And when I say that, it's just like we're definitely focusing on Journey Builder, and we're bringing more of that functionality in to Journey Builder to create a one central place where we use messaging, and then working towards a point where it's just like that is the go-to place, rather than working out whether it should be a journey or it should be a individual send. Like, is it something that you do in an automation? Like, trying to just navigate those pieces. And what I'm describing here is finishing off functionality. So we're coming back and we're going, okay, well, we've added, these extra pieces. Like in Journey Builder, you can now pause journeys and restart them. Right now, I would have thought that would have been some functionality that would have been relatively obvious, and cause some pain points for people with it not being there. And things like you can now search for contacts, right? Now that again, to me, would have been something that, when I first used the tool, I thought, ooh, that would be something that's relatively straightforward. But all of those pieces, they're coming back to a lot of it. I mean, I assume that they must be listening to users who have been saying, yeah, this was good, but you've missed a bit, right? So I'm really pleased to see that sort of stuff. But we're also interested to know what anybody else, like who's attended this evening, has found interested interesting. So this is just a list of some of the other things that we've seen. And this is nowhere near exhaustive, but I was wondering whether anybody else who's been using Marketing Cloud or has been waiting for something, whether there's anything in particular they've been pleased to see this year.
It could be any of the products. It doesn't have to be Marketing Cloud. It can be Social Studio. It can be Commerce Cloud, or any feature that any one of the 8 clouds or studios that exist. But
well, I'm almost getting to the point where I want to call people by name.
Well, let's make it quiz time. I think people came here for the swag.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I didn't well publicize the swag, so yes, we can imagine that. But again, so I think other things that people have found quite interesting is Path Optimizer, right? There's been some enthusiasm, I think, for that. I've heard quite a lot of enthusiasm for behavioral triggers as a potential option. And again, I think that's made something more accessible within the user interface as opposed to a reliance on, support or getting things enabled. So yeah, all of those are really important. But we can come on to the quiz, and I hope people are feeling brave, because this will be the first time we've run one of these quizzes in this particular group. So typically we've used a tool like Kahoot, but the Salesforce Developer Evangelist team have actually created an app that we can run actually in Salesforce. So all of this quiz is powered by Salesforce. So let's see what happens here. So there are some prizes. There are some prizes, and there are some rules, as you can imagine. So the top 3 people will have a choice of one of these plushies, right? But I can only send these to UK addresses, I'm afraid. So in order to win a prize, you need to be able to supply me with a UK address so I can get that posted out to you. You'll also notice that there's a slight line at the bottom that says the quiz master's decision is final. So I have done my best to make sure that these answers are correct. And I will definitely take feedback if they're not, but the answers that are in the quiz are the ones that we're going with in order to get the prizes. You're welcome, everybody. Good to see. Lovely. So this is something that you do with your mobile phone. So what will happen is I will show the quiz question on the screen, and then you'll have the option to actually answer on your phone. So very much like some of the other quizzes that you've used. So if we give me a second now to get out of this screen and then get into the quiz and wrestle with that. Where is the quiz? There we go.
It'd be really cool if you had the quiz the exact same font, style, and color as web assessor exams.
Well, that would be
something else.
Particularly spectacular. So I think what's happened before is I've pressed this button a couple of times and then it's sort of worked. So let's hope that this is all enabled. Lovely. So can people see that? Can you see that there is a bit.ly link and a QR code? Okay, can we access the QR code? And hopefully then it will give you an option to enter as a player, and I will be able to see your, there we go. Okay, I have at least one person playing. Thank you.
You gotta try, guys, because we got what, 3 prizes or?
It's fine. I mean, if we've only got 2 people, then I'm giving prizes to 2 people. Happy days. I mean, this will be quite entertaining if we've literally just got 3. Okay, right. So as it stands, there's 4 people, and it looks like someone, just one of you is not getting a prize. So Jimson, no, we've got more. Jimson, are you playing?
No, I'm not playing because I felt it wouldn't be fair since.
Well, I mean, you don't have to have a prize, but I need someone to. Good.
Well,
to be fair, we've got enough people now to have some content.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah.
Thank you everybody for joining in. Okay, so any more? Give it just a final warning, and then I'm going to start. Now,
Carrie, can you post a link in the chat?
Oh yes,
I can
sorry.
type it in.
Yeah, no, that is all good. Bearing in mind, like, I need to warn you that I feel that this quiz is both Marketing Cloud related and somewhat educational. So this isn't a wasted time here. You'll all learn something. Because in order to prepare for this quiz, I watched a number of release webinars, and this is all about function and functionality that has come in, or things that have happened in Salesforce world in the last year. I'm sure what everybody signed up for. You're welcome. Brilliant. Oh, lovely. 8. This is a strong show. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, so I'm about to start. Right, so it'll populate on the screen, and then you should have 4 answer options on your mobile device or the device that you're playing on. So question number 1, where do you enable campaigns and quicksend scheduling for distributed marketing? There's a nice one. So is that under the distributed marketing under administration in configuration and send scheduling? In the Marketing Cloud setup under Email Studio and send settings, distributed marketing administration, there we go. Woo, lovely. Good, good. So we have Samajit
Oh,
there.
I didn't get to answer.
I'm sorry.
It looks like a lot of other people, like it says like waiting. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Did anyone else have that problem too? It was like, it said, yeah, waiting for host to start game.
Oh dear. Okay, I apologize. So let's see if the next one, well, I think there's some people are going to be at the mercy of their refresh rates / bandwidth. I promise you.
We had this last night on the same platform, and the solution seemed to be to refresh, and apparently by doing that, you do get back straight into the group, and it works.
Okay.
So that worked last night. So try that.
Yeah. I would also suggest that based on this, these questions are going to be very varied, right? So not guessing one of them may not be the difference between winning and losing here. Okay, next question. That is the longest answer, I promise. So there are 3 times when Salesforce asks users how to rate their ideas to what's most important. What's this called? So is it ideas rating, prioritization, ideas exchange shuffle, or what? I've never heard of this. So this is something that Salesforce has implemented over the last couple of years. And this is the first time that any Marketing Cloud content has been included in this prioritization. So it is called prioritization. And I think we probably do potentially suffer from the fact that there are less marketing people that rate things than there are general, admin and developer, but I hope that will change over time. Cool. So the next question is, when enhancements were made for interactive email in August, what was added? Was it pre-populating text inputs? Was it field alignment? Was it both of those or none of those? So which of those features were added in August? You've been very specific. I am impressed. I am very impressed that people managed to navigate that one. Brilliant. Well done, everyone. Cool. Next question. Where can you find Brand Builder in the Marketing Cloud setup? So is that in company information, email settings, company settings, or mobile settings?
That was on the admin exam.
Oh, I'm excellent. I don't remember that, but still lovely.
Oh,
this is a strong group. I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm afraid my giving you company information is the node in core, right? That's probably where you'd find those settings, but this is impressive. Well done, everyone. Okay, next. What month was domain verification enforced for all domains? Was it March, April, May, or June?
We actually spoke about that in our meetup.
There we go.
It was our April meetup.
It was actually enforced in April, right? So I think I can't remember. I just feel that they moved the date, the months around that we actually, that they released.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually in April that it was enforced for everyone. Yeah. Okay, next question. How can you search for or remove people from journeys? What identifier do you need to search with it? Is it email address, contact key, mobile number, or any of these? Ooh, it's contact key.
Ooh.
I'm afraid, like, oh, I feel bad because I put any of these in there, like, you know, because when you answer these questions and you're not quite sure, you pick the answer that you want, not the answer that it does, right? So you want it to be any of them, but really, you know, it's Marketing Cloud, so they're only going to do like the bare minimum, like,
Yeah.
to start with, at least.
It's evil, like web assessor exams.
Yeah.
Evil.
Well, you know, it's keeping it all lively.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Right. There's no easy way to win this particular quiz. So next is, in addition to the UI page to set up behavioral triggers, what other type of component was introduced to enable this capability? Was it a content block? Was it an email template? Was it a journey template? Or a logging data extension? I mean, I'm feeling pretty evil right now, but I was enjoying this. Yeah, okay. It's a content block. Everybody hates me. It's fine.
Yeah,
We're going to carry on. I'm just plowing on. Which of these is not a Marketing Cloud blog? Is it How to FFMC, XYZ, mcwizard.com, or Gortonington? I always get that wrong. Oh, so Gortonington is Greg Gifford's blog, and MC Wizard was something that I made up.
It's a good domain.
Pardon?
That's a good domain, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It could be. I have no idea if it's, to be fair, I didn't actually do any verification, so that could be a blog. If anybody wants to argue later, it won't win you a plushie, but I will apologize. And the next question is, what is the maximum number of messages you can send at once to campaign members with distributed marketing? So 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, or 25,000? Cool. I mean, it is a difficult one, right? But equally, I think this is again the classic. Is just like, if I didn't know, but I was hedging, right? I'd be like, well, it's not going to be the highest number because Marketing Cloud won't send that many. But it is. It's 25,000, which I was quite impressed with. Cool. The next question is, which of these does multi-factor authentication not protect against? So account takeovers, phishing, credential jacking, or credential stuffing, right? This is another one of those classic security things where in some cases I've never heard of some of these things, but I know that they're stopped. Yes. So credential jacking, the one I made up. But credential stuffing is a thing, right? I think that's one of the reasons that I wrote that question, because I was like, never heard of that. But at least on one of the Salesforce release slides, right, it says that credential stuffing is a thing. I'm afraid I don't know what it is. Does anybody? Nope, never heard of it. Good. Well, implement that multi-factor authentication. It's definitely going to stop that. right? Whatever it is, it sounds bad. Next question. Where on opportunities do you see the history for Quicksend SMS messaging? Right, so is it in the activity related lists, in the chatter feed, notes, or is it only available from the contact record? Boom. Well
Oh,
done, Samajit. Yeah,
Samajit.
it's
Take
actually
the
in the
lead.
chatter feed. I mean, which again, I feel that what some of this,
Which will be Slack in about 2 years' time, probably, hopefully.
well, it could well be, but I feel what I'm taking from this is you pick the answer where is obvious, like where you expect it to be, and find that they put it somewhere else. But so it's actually in the chatter feed. Cool. Okay, so the next one is, in August, what became available in single send journeys? Was it email messages, SMS messages, push notifications, or advertising messages? So what type of single send journey can you send? And it was SMS. So up until August, or at least the August release notes, right, you couldn't send SMS journeys. But so I think up until that point, it was only email that was available in single send. Cool. Next question. What is the name of the session Salesforce hosts? Answers whether, oh no. My question is appalling, right? There's a session where you can ask product managers questions and give them feedback, and also senior execs. What's it called? Is it PM Time, PM Jam, or True to the Core?
Woo! My first one.
There you go. Oh, I feel that probably my question there was awful because I couldn't even read it. I'll look at that. But so Salesforce, every year at Dreamforce, Salesforce have run a session called True to the Core, where people like Parker Harris and Brett Taylor show up, and a whole load of the other product managers, and they take questions live from the floor. And they've started now doing that online. And there has been, I think, at least one marketing cloud session on that. So I wanted to highlight it on here because it's worth looking out for, because you can provide direct feedback and ask direct questions. And it's meant to be sort of really two-way sort of conversation about what might be coming. Next question. Who was announced as the next Salesforce UKI CEO? So this person is coming in March. Is it Zara Barrialumi, Dame Jane Ann Gahard, I can never pronounce, Gavin Peterson, or Keith Block? So who is going to be the...
That's a guess.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so it's Zara Barrialumi, who is currently the head of technology in UKI for Accenture. So that's how I know who she is and how I can pronounce her name.
Yeah, that was a giveaway, how you were able to pronounce it so fast, so easily.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah, like I know that one. Everybody else's name, I am falling over. Like, so, and Dame Anne was the CEO earlier this year, but she moved into, I can't remember what she went to do next. But yeah, but Gavin Peterson is in Salesforce, but I think he might be Chief Revenue Officer, and it's a global role. Yeah, so Zara is coming in the UKI. Next question. In Marketing Cloud, under what menus do you find behavioral triggers? So is it under Email Studio, Advertising Studio, Journey Builder, or Interaction Studio? Again, pick one of four.
Can't see the screen refreshing.
Oh, is it? Can you refresh on your screen? Oh dear. Okay, well that seems to have not worked. Lovely. Well, clearly call that question void. It's actually Journey Builder. So if you want to look for behavioral triggers, you go and look under Journey Builder. Apologizes for that not working. Did it just say that it was waiting to refresh on your screen?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see if this next one works. Otherwise, the quiz may have prematurely ended based on, the quiz indeed has ended. There we go. Well, congratulations everyone for persevering. As you can tell, that was a bit involved. I wanted to, because this was the end of year quiz and we were talking about releases, you know, and was getting involved in that. But congratulations to anybody that really got any of those questions right.